So if you don't want your voice on YouTube, then you might not want to ask a question. And I just would like you to raise your hand and wait for me to point to you before asking. And please only ask questions and don't give commentary. Any questions?
Can you explain a little more on the timeout when you are in a heated argument? Or can you give some techniques, really?
Some techniques?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just that. Yeah, exactly.
I have a friend.
Yeah, you have a friend who wants to hear more about how to take time out. So basically, you're paying attention to yourself. And if you feel that you're getting flooded, if you start becoming aware of it, like you feel that adrenaline hit, or basically you know what, I'm not doing a good job listening here. It's becoming all about me. And then that's a sign to you to take a time out. And you need to talk about this ahead of time so that you both are on the same page. But what you do is simply say, I feel flooded right now. I need to take a 20 time out. You walk out of the room, you have a place with maybe a door with a lock on it, and you stay in there for 20 minutes and do something you enjoy. And then when it's over, you come back, see if things are calmer and cooler, say, okay, I can talk about this now. If it's not calmer and cooler, then you just say, hey, let's schedule it in our planners, because it's not going to work out today, let's talk some other time. So the idea is to take some pressure off of figuring everything out today, but also not to have the person feel like you're not going to ever talk about anything, like you're always walking away and nothing ever gets addressed. So that's why I think it's important to put it in your planners, schedule it. Because sometimes we're just too busy too. Does that help, or did you have another more specific question?
No, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
On the soothing, I guess, can you tell us, if you want to soothe one another, is this while you're having this heated discussion? How do you soothe one another when you don't even like each other?
Yeah, good question. How do you soothe one another when you don't even like each other? Yeah. So, if it's a chronic thing where you're just like always really not liking one another, then you need to build a culture of appreciation. And you need to start going on dates and start giving one another compliments and do some fun stuff together to really, that alone, you don't have to talk about problems all the time. You can actually make the marriage better just by having more fun together, spending more time. And hopefully that involves sharing some affection too. And so in that case, when you're starting to get into a heated argument, it's not that you don't like one another, it's I'm mad at my best friend right now, and we're having a problem. So if that's the case, then it's like, hey, I know I'm mad at you, but if you catch it early enough, before it gets too heated, then you can probably, you might be able to do the soothing. It's not going to be for everyone, but where you're reading this kind of meditation script to one another and comforting one another. Otherwise, you might just need to learn to soothe yourself, and that's fine. That's fine too. It's an unusual idea. It's not going to be for everyone.
You talked about criticism. What do you think about the idea of, rather than criticizing, trying to ignore the behavior you don't like and only affirm the behavior you do like?
So the question was, what do I think about maybe ignoring the behavior that you don't like and just affirming the behavior you do like? So I think that's all part of building a culture of appreciation. It's a good thing to do, especially if it's little stuff. You don't want to be kind of nagging or nitpicky. But then at the same time, you also don't want to store things up. And there's this funny thing in one of Dr. John Gottman's material. It's like, I think it's called like, What's Wrong About Jim? And it's this list of like 30 different things that are wrong with Jim that shows what happens when you bottle stuff up, you know? We can really criticize people. So sometimes by trying to affirm and validate, we're just gonna, at some point, the cork's gonna pop out and we're gonna really unload on someone. So kind of a little mixture of affirming, but also at least addressing conflicts as they come up too. That's my opinion on it. 1 second, 1 second.
How about, is there a book where they have the meditations, the things, the soothing that you mentioned? Was there anything particular where the wife or husband's going to guide each other? Relaxation. Is there any books, anything like that? Offhand?
So, yeah, the question is, are there any books on the guided meditation? I think you could probably just type guided meditation script on the internet and get one for free, and that'd be fine. And Dr. John Gottman has a workshop. Excuse me. It's a DVD workshop kit called The Art of Science and Love Weekend or something like that. And in there's a script. I know that, so you can find one there. Also, I'd like a mindfulness meditation audio file. They have a bunch of audio files at the UCLA Mindfulness Meditation Center online. And they have weekly podcasts, and they have also little 5-minute guided meditations, audio files. So you could really learn how to do it there, and then just kind of incorporate it yourself. It's not that hard to learn. So, does that help? Yeah. And then back there, yeah.
Do you do anything about unmet expectations? That's where criticism comes off.
Sure. The question is, do I do anything about unmet expectations? Because that's where criticism comes. So that can be really complicated. But the idea is the gentle startup involves making a complaint. So it's not about bottling things up and never making requests. It's, are you criticizing this person as far as their character? You know, like this person's always like this, there's no acceptance. When we say to the person, you're always like this, the next thing out of their mouth is typically something like, no, I remember 21 years and 6 months ago, there was an exception. And that's what we're going to start talking about right now. You know, we feel misunderstood. And the idea is that this is about getting little things, making little steps and talking about little things. So it's not about, you know, it's much easier to hear that something about the socks on the floor today than, you know, for 15 years I've been picking up after you, and, you know, that kind of thing. Start with today, start small, and the other person can learn how to serve you better. And that's what this is all about. It's how can I serve my spouse better? Now, in this complicated topic is, what if the expectation is unreasonable? What if I, you know, we all can feel at times like, I just can't win, I'll never be good enough for this person. You know? And sometimes that's just a negative self-script, like, no, just take responsibility for this and move forward. But sometimes you never can measure up for someone else if they're that critical. And sometimes part of it is learning that you married someone who's not you, who's different, who has certain flaws, and can you love that person with those flaws? You know, is that where this gets to be getting in the wrong area is like abuse, right? Abuse is completely unacceptable. That's got to be stopped, you know. But some other flaws. I mean, of course, cheating's got to stop. Drinking, you know, getting drunk all the time. You know, that's a problem. So there's certain things where you're just going to have that expectation, and the person had better change. But then there's some things where you just got to accept that we're two different people. And Dr. Gottman is he's really into math, and he calculated that couples probably disagree on about 75% of everything. And so a lot of it is, how do we talk about these disagreements? How, you know, the disagreements are going to be there, the differences are going to be there, but can we talk about it in a calm way, where we're learning about the other person and how they're different than us? Or are we constantly trying to change the other person? Now, when we get into needs being met, well, we need to take care of needs. I mean, that's a little bit different.
In your practice, when you are talking to couples and you're sharing regarding the timeouts, do you talk to them about how they come to consensus as to what a timeout should look like? Because I would think that that's somewhere something that couples might even disagree in, where one might say, you know, walking out of the house is what I need to do, and the other one is saying, well, I don't think walking out of the house, maybe just to the other room. Like, I would see even the timeouts for some couples being a struggle as to what, you know, they can agree with is acceptable or okay.
Right.
Because of the whole, what you mentioned regarding the
Difference.
abandonment, you know, where they can say, okay, yeah, you walk out, but now I'm here stuck with whatever this issue is. So I
Right.
just wondered what you would share with them when that is a problem.
Right. So the question was, do I talk to the couples about basically getting on the same page for what a timeout means, what it looks like? Yeah, and I think my answer is yes, they need to both agree. And every couple is going to be different. And it could trigger fear of abandonment if someone goes out of the house. So, you know, we can be sensitive to these things. That's perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. So, you know, and that's the thing about these 75% of things that we disagree on. It's a different 75% for every couple. So, you know, one couple might be fine with you know, taking timeouts outside of the house, and another one says no, just only in the room. Okay, so I have to wrap it up. My time's up here. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to thank Thomas for coming. We know we're all busy on weekends, and he took the time to come here to talk to us today. And again, thank you, Thomas.